that too much to ask?" She knocked on Cevilla's front door. Cevilla's English friend, Richard, answered. "Hi, Martha," he said, looking a little surprised. Martha looked over her shoulder. So far, no one was following her, which meant her mother had been successful in keeping them from sniffing out her trail. When she looked back at Richard, Cevilla stood next to him. "What brings you by?" Richard asked. "Food trouble," Cevilla said, then motioned for her to come in. Martha quickly stepped inside, wondering how Cevilla knew. Then again, the octogenarian seemed to have a sixth sense about everything. "Get the dominoes," Cevilla said to Richard, pointing at a cabinet on the other side of the room. "I'll make the tea." Looking confused, Richard gave Martha a small smile before heading to the cabinet. Martha followed Cevilla to the kitchen. "I'm sorry I'm imposing," Martha said, standing in the doorway. "Nonsense." Cevilla began filling her tea kettle with water. "Just sit down and tell me what happened." Martha dropped into a chair at the table and explained how Ruby had invited every single, unattached young person in the district to her house for a scavenger hunt, with Martha the only single woman. "I had just gone out for a walk when I saw Ira, Zeb, Zeke, Owen, Samuel—" "Oh, dear," Cevilla said, now sitting across from her, "all heading toward my house. I ran back inside." She looked down at her lap. "That sounds cowardly, doesn't it?" "It sounds like they took you off guard. In a group." She lifted her eyes and looked at Cevilla again. "They did. But I shouldn't have been surprised. This isn't the first time several of them have asked me for a date, or to take me home from a singing, or even just tried to talk to me. When I saw them all coming at once, I panicked." Cevilla nodded as Richard walked in. The tea kettle started to whistle, and Cevilla moved to get up. "Stay put," he said, and then set the dominoes on the table. "I'll get the tea, too." Martha didn't miss the softness in Cevilla's eyes as she looked at her friend, giving him a small nod. It tugged at Martha's heart. They had an unusual relationship for many reasons: their advanced age, the fact he was English, and the fact that after 6 decades apart they'd reunited. He'd even moved from California and now lived in a small house next to hers. Everyone could see they were in love. Love. Martha let out a small sigh. It wasn't that she didn't appreciate romance or didn't want to fall in love. She wanted to date and someday to be in a relationship. She just didn't want to be coerced into going out with someone. She didn't want to be chased just because she was the only woman available. Cevilla opened the tin box of dominoes and started placing the pieces on the table. "Many a young woman would love to be in your shoes, Martha." "They can have my shoes," Martha muttered. Richard poured the hot water into a plastic pitcher where Cevilla had placed several tea bags. As he went to the gas-powered fridge freezer to get ice, Martha helped Cevilla turn over the dominoes. "I'm sorry about this," Martha said. "No need to be sorry." Richard pulled out an ice cube tray. "We love a rousing game of dominoes, don't we, Cevilla?" "That we do." Martha's emotions started to settle a bit. She loved playing dominoes, too. She loved any type of game, indoors or outdoors, and playing dominoes with Cevilla and Richard would help keep her mind off her problems, at least for the short term. "Care to shuffle?" Cevilla said to Martha. Martha nodded, and after Richard put glasses of iced tea in front of the women, they started a game of chickenfoot. Richard immediately shot ahead. "I don't know why we let him play," Cevilla grumped as she wrote down his most recent score, a whopping 3 points. "'Cause I'm charming." Richard took a sip of his tea. "Don't flatter yourself." But she smiled. "It's because we need 3 players to make this game worth playing." Cevilla put down her pencil and looked at Martha. "Feeling better, sweetie?" "Yeah." She leaned back in her chair and watched Richard shuffle the dominoes. "I can't keep doing this, though." "You're not that far behind Richard," Cevilla said. "Not the dominoes." Cevilla nodded, her gaze growing soft. "I know. And it's all right. You'll just have to figure out a plan B, that's all." "When was there a plan A?" Richard asked. "There wasn't." Cevilla raised an